Okay, welcome everybody to the Thursday night webinar. This is John Pettiford-El. I am going to be your host tonight for this webinar. I want to thank you for getting on this call. Some very motivated and excited person wanted you to get on this call and learn what in the world is going on with myEcon. Why is myEcon exploding? Why are people exploding with our income shifting concept? What in the world is income shifting? So let me tell you real quick. I'm going to go through my quick story. And then I'm going to tell you about myEcon, this exciting company, and all the things that we're doing for people. And then I'm going to answer any questions that you have about this company. Guys, I started out, in business many years ago. But even before I was in business, I was just a young man who worked hard and thought if I just kept my nose clean, worked hard for a good company, I would move up the ladder. And I learned something. I learned that corporate America is more about who you know than what you know. So I started to realize and see that the boss's friends and family members were getting the pay raises, and it wasn't me. Has anybody ever been there? So when I started looking at this, I started to look outside of my job. What could I do in addition to working full-time to bring in more money? I had a daughter at that time. She was very young, and I wanted to do more for her. So I started looking and searching. So I started going to seminars. I started looking at no money down real estate, vending machine businesses. You name it, I checked it out. And I fell into a thing called direct sales. I fell into a little thing called network marketing. Now, I didn't know anything about network marketing. I fell flat on my face. I didn't have anybody who could teach me anything about how to actually build that business. But I was bitten by the entrepreneur bug. Here's why. They taught me a concept or a system called residual income. And I had never heard that term before. And what residual income is, it means you expend your effort one time, but get paid multiple times into the future. See, imagine being paid for work you did 2 years ago. Imagine being paid for work you did 5 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago. That sounded like a wonderful concept to me, so I wanted to do everything I could to learn that process. But as I kind of stumbled through all that, make a long story short, I met a gentleman some years later. This guy here to the right, Mr. Alvin Curry. He had been in business for about 15 years when I met him. And he says, John, I want to teach you everything I know about business, money, capitalism, and finance. And here's what was important. He was a multimillionaire. I had never met a multimillionaire before, and I didn't know when the next time I was going to meet a multimillionaire. And I went out and I worked with him and learned from him. And I spent over 3,000 hours with him. I probably talked on the phone with him today, probably 10,000 plus hours. But as a result of that, I was able to retire at 34 years old. Today, I am 42. I don't work a job. I teach people personal financial success all over the country. I own my house free and clear. I have a success story to tell. Not to brag, but it's just to say, hey, there's fruits in what we do. So I want you to understand something tonight. myEcon can change your life because it's changing tens of thousands of people's lives all over the country. See, we were doing this before we got to you, but we want to know, do you want some? See, I say join the winning team. This is not the losing team. See, we get accolades. See, we've helped people all over the country, so let's get down to it. Let's talk about this thing called myEcon. Let's talk about this thing called personal financial success. So understand something. We're not the coffee company. We're not the juice company. We're not the skinny company. We're not the travel company. We're not going to have you wrapping your body up in all this kind of cellophane. No, what we do is we teach you how to do one thing, and that's get money. See, is that something that interests you? See, I believe everybody's selling all that stuff. They're selling it for one byproduct, and it's called money. See, I see people going to work 30 or 40 years. I see people going to work 40 hours a week and trying to get to personal financial success. I see people spending $30, $40, $50, $60,000 trying to get a college degree so they can have personal financial success. So I would say that's the number one product in the world. Here's why. Most people want it, most people need it, and most people don't have it. So we're going to talk about myEcon, the personal financial success company. Talk about it real quick. These are just some quick statistics about us. We're a 12-year-old debt-free technology-driven company. We didn't borrow a dime from anyone to put this company together. It cost us millions of dollars to put this company together as you see it. And here's what's most important. We've been able to help people cash flow over million, and we're on track to put another $125 million in people's pockets over the next 12 months. I want you to just think about that. I want you to imagine the gravity behind that. See, what's going to be your story? Are you going to say, hey, I'll cash flow 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, 500,000? $1 million with the system? Or are you going to be one of those people that said, I saw that thing 20 years ago. I remember I looked at a presentation and I didn't do anything. I had to think about it. I had to talk to my broke cousin about it. Are you going to be one of those people, or are you going to be somebody that took a chance? See, if you don't step out on faith, you may never get blessed. You got to understand that. So let's talk about this thing called personal financial success. I have talked to thousands of people all over the country. I have not found 50 people that were on track to get it done. I haven't found 50 people that even knew what it was. Here's what I mean. See, people tend to think personal financial success is lifestyle. So they might see me riding around in my Mercedes and they say, oh, well, that's personal financial success. No, it's not. They might say, oh, if he lives in a nice place and stuff, you know, that's personal financial success. No, that has nothing to do with personal financial success, folks. Here's what personal financial success is. See, it doesn't matter if you're a doctor, a lawyer, a school teacher, a janitor, whatever it is you do for a living, you got two financial objectives. Number one, you need income for today. So you trade time for money. So you work a certain amount of hours, they pay you a certain amount of money, you run out of money on Sunday night, and you start over on Monday morning. But see, here's the problem with that. That's linear pay. You work for 1 hour, you get paid for 1 hour. You work for 1 week, you get paid for 1 week. If you don't work, what happens? You don't get paid. Your problem is one of three things is going to happen to you in your life. Either you're going to get too old to work, you're going to decide you don't want to work, or your job is going to fire you. So you have to have a second source of income, your second objective. You have to have income producing assets. Now, that's anything that you own that brings you money without you working. I got a question for you. When is the last time you bought something that makes you money? Most people have never done this. Most people can't remember, and that's the problem. We spend a lot of time turning our cash into trash. Let's say we go buy a car. Let's say the thing is 20, 30, 40,000, but then 5 or 6 or 7 years later, we don't want it. We turn the 30, 40, 50,000 into something we don't want. You got to take some cash. You got to buy an asset that creates what? More cash. See, this is what we got to do. That's the very essence of wealth creation. That's the very essence of building wealth. You got to buy something that creates cash and repeat the process over and over and over and over and over again. You can get stone cold wealthy. So let me put some numbers to this real quick so you'll understand. Let's say you make $75,000 a year household income today. Now, it doesn't matter whether you make more or less. The mechanics still work the same way. You need at least 10 times what you make in a year in income-producing assets. So you would need at least $750,000 in your 401k, for example. You would need $750,000 in your IRA, for example. You would need at least $750,000 worth of real estate, for example. See, it doesn't matter what the asset is. You just have to have something that pays you money. And it's got to be enough to maintain the lifestyle while you're working, so that when you stop working, you never have to go back to what? Working. So let's talk about it. Most people don't get this done. Out of 100 people that start working at 25 and go to 65, that's 40 years of work. They have less than $50,000 saved, and only 4% of the people have enough money to retire. Now, that's the wealthiest country in the history of the world. There's more money here than anywhere else. If you can't get it done here, then where will you get it done? There are some very specific reasons people don't get to personal financial success, folks. Let's talk about them. The first one is a little thing called inflation. See, cost of living goes up in this country every year. As a matter of fact, every 20 years in this country, the cost of living doubles. I can remember when a Snickers bar was 35 cents. Today it's $1. I can remember I could get a 2-liter soda for about 59, 69 cents. Today it's $1.89. I remember when gasoline was 79 cents. Now, I'm probably telling my age there, but guess what? It doesn't matter. See, the cost of living is going to continue to go up. Why? Because currency, that dollar in your pocket, that dollar in your purse, the number on that currency never changes. It never grows. So you have to take your money and make money with the money. So your dollars need to be doing something I call having babies. See, your dollars are not having babies, so you're losing money. You can't outpace inflation. Only 2 ways to do it. You got to do it through leverage. You can leverage people or you can leverage money. We show you how to do both. You also want to build residual income. You got to get paid multiple times for work you do once. People say, I work for every dime I get. I think that's the worst thing you could ever say. That's the saddest statement in the world. Why? Because if you stop working, you stop getting dimes. And last time I checked, you're going to need dimes until you die. And as a matter of fact, they're going to want more dimes when you die than they wanted when you came into this world. So you better get some dimes, and you better keep getting them. Get all you can all you get, and sit on your can. But here's the second problem, a little thing called taxes. The average person loses 25 to 30% of their income to taxes before they ever spend a dime to take care of their families. That's a huge issue because now someone's taking money out of your pocket. It causes a cash flow shortfall. When you need to make a major purchase, like buy a car, you don't have the money, you have to finance it. You don't have the money to buy the house, you have to finance it. So now you create the third problem called debt. And we're even buying education on debt, folks. I see people with $30, $40, $50, $60, $70, $80, $100,000 in debt. Do you understand how major that is? That is a lot. And then their payments might be $500, $1,000, $1,500 per month. And the average household in this country, it makes $50,000 a year. Guys, you can't win with that scenario. You can't win on that game plan. You got to learn capitalism. See, think about this. You went from the kindergarten to the 12th grade and nobody ever taught you about money. That wasn't done by accident. See, the very nature of capitalism means someone is capitalizing upon the other. That's always the person with the least amount of information. That's always the person who doesn't understand how it works. So you are playing the game of capitalism and you don't know the rules. We got to change that. So these three things combined cause you folks to have inadequate savings and investing. You don't have any money to invest. You can't put money in your 401k. You feel you can't afford it. You don't have money in the stock market. So you don't own anything in America. So as America grows, your money doesn't grow. You see what the problem is? You got to start to own America, not just things in America. Let's keep moving. See, myEcon has a solution. We call it our personal financial success system. Number one, we're going to help you minimize taxes. Number two, we're going to help you eliminate debt. You cannot continue to pay debt. So here's why. Debt is a robber. It robs you of your ability to build wealth. Number three, we're going to help you grow your cash flow. See, we use three smart cash flow strategies. Let's talk about them. The first one, a little thing called income shifting. I call this the 9th or 10th wonder of the world. Here's what we do. We show you how to lower your taxes by $200 to $1,000 per month within 10 to 14 days of getting the system, and it puts money back into your pocket. Now imagine your taxes on your current job going down by $400, $500, or $600. What could you really do with that money? Couldn't you take it and pay down some car notes or credit cards or student loans or mortgages? Absolutely. Couldn't you take that money and drop it on your 401k or your IRAs? Absolutely. And when you start doing that, you start growing your money. So now every time America grows, your money grows, and now your dollars are having babies. Now imagine all the people in America that would like to have that system. That creates a tremendous business opportunity for you. See, in business, you find a problem. And the problem in America, 95% of the people in this country don't have personal financial success. They want personal financial success, and they need personal financial success. And you have the number one solution, not in America, but in the world. It's called income shifting. And now you can actually refer them to that system. If they buy that system from you, you can get paid. You have a system with unlimited potential. So now you're going to have passive income. See, that means getting paid month in and month out, regardless to whether you work. See, guys, I make tens of thousands of dollars in residual income. See, I didn't understand how important it was till I started getting it. Man, this thing was amazing. I could sit at home all month. I could sit at home for 6 months and still make thousands and thousands of dollars. Man, let me in. Sign me up. I want some more. But see, you got to get you some. This is not about me. I've been teaching people this for the last decade. I've helped thousands of people income shift. I've helped thousands of people build businesses. I've helped thousands of people start to build passive income. You see, We're going to help you two ways. Let's talk about income shifting real quick. We're going to help you, number one, correct tax withholding. Notice I did not say manipulate tax withholding, because some people say, well, you know, I got that W-4 thing, and I put 9 on the first 6 months, and then I put 0 on the next 6 months. No, that's wrong. That's upside down. That's playing games. That does not help you. You can't check the box talking about, hey, I'm exempt because I just needed my money. I checked the exempt box, but here's the problem. At the end of the year, you have a huge tax bill. So let's talk about that in a second. We're going to help you build a home-based business. Now, sometimes when I say those words, home-based business, people get all nervous and scared. They say, oh, man, is that one of those things? This one of them things that can get you wealthy. This thing got me wealthy. This thing delivered my family. This allowed me to fire my boss. And they ain't seen me since. You see, you can control your destiny and you can own your life. Let's talk about why. See, you got to understand why you need a home-based business. We're going to talk about that. But let's talk about people in general. I want you to understand something. The IRS did a study, and they said that 80% of the people in America overpay their tax. I want you to just think about that. They not only lose 25 to 30%, they give away too much. Let me prove it to you. Have you ever got a tax refund? You see, a lot of people have been conditioned to think that the tax refund is good, but it's not. It's a terrible thing. Here's why. It means you overpaid your taxes. Now, sometimes when I say this, people get all confused. They say, whoa, John. I've been always taught that the bigger the refund, the better. Here's what you got to do. I want you to do some homework. I want you to go to your most recent tax return. I want you to look on line 75 of your 1040, and it says this is the amount that you overpaid. They're talking about your refund. You see, you can't afford to keep giving away that money. Now, sometimes people say, well, it's not a big deal. I get it back at the end of the year anyway, right? No. See, you've lost rate of return. See, some people do this for 30 years of their working lives. They do it for 40 years. They give away $3,000 to $5,000 a year too much. They're holding on to that money. What could you have done with that money if you had access to it during the year? You could have paid down your debt. You would pay less interest. You could have put more money into your 401k. Your money would have grew. It would have started, your dollars would have started having babies. You might have $300,000 or $400,000 today, but you don't because you didn't have access to the money. So that's called you lost return on investment. You see, that's very important. If you don't have the dollars, you can't make the dollars go to work. And see, you can only work for so many years, and you've got to learn this early, and no one ever taught us that we were supposed to not only be working with and making money with labor, we're supposed to be making money with money. You see, that's what we do at myEcon. That's what's at our core, okay, ladies and gentlemen? So we help you get that money back and stop overpaying your taxes. Very easy. It happens within the next paycheck. But take a look at this. Now let's talk about building a world-class business. See, you're going to have the opportunity to earn additional income outside of your job. See, what if they walked into you tomorrow and said, hey, you know, you no longer work here, and we're going to walk you out. Don't even pass go, as they say. You know what I mean? Now, what would you do? You see, the riskiest thing you can do in your life is put all of your eggs on somebody's opinion of what they think you should have been doing at work. See, if they don't feel that you did your job, they can fire you. That's somebody's opinion. You want your livelihood based on how somebody feels? Are you serious? Not based on your hard work? Not based on you owning your income? You can't put your family through that, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, now, business owners get access to many deductions that employees do not. Deductions are very important in America. I want you to understand something. I have actually not paid taxes for 9 of the last 12 years of my life, not because I was slick, not because I did something sneaky, no, because I learned the system, I got some education, because see, we are destroyed for our lack of knowledge, and we get knowledge on finances in America. Right here at myEcon, we have a financial curriculum, and then you start excelling, you see? We're going to talk about that, you see? Let me give you a real quick example here. Let me show you how things work in America. Let's say you make $50,000 a year, you're a mother of 2. Well, you're going to get what is called head of household as a standard deduction. So you would take the $10,000 head of household deduction basically and minus that from your 50, you come up with 40. And then the IRS will automatically give you $4,000 per person depending on the income in your house, which is called exemptions. So you minus that, that's another 12. The $28,000 that's left is your taxable income. And ladies and gentlemen, at this point, there's nothing you can do to lower your taxes. You can't say, well, I got a good tax person. They're going to really help me out. They're going to hook me up. No, they can't do anything about that. But see, over here, you work and you make money. You pay taxes first, and then you pay expenses. This is where 95% of the people in this population is. But let me just tweak something. Start a home-based business with myEcon. Get you an income-shifting membership. And now what happens is you start to pick up tax deductions that you could not get before on things that you're already doing. Let's take a look at them. Driving your car. We show you, based on the IRS law, how to write off 80 to 90% of the miles you ever drive your car. That could be 15,000, 16,000 miles a year. Well, you get at least 50 cents per mile. That's an $8,000 tax deduction. So now what would happen to you is your taxable income would go from $28,000 in this example all the way down to $20,000. You would save $2,000 on taxes for just driving. Do you want some? Do you want to minimize your taxes, or do you want to keep giving it away to the government? Do you want to just keep watching them build all the stuff that they're building and your family continues to go into financial destruction? What about the car note? That's another $1,000, right? Okay, of interest. That note brings you down to $19,000. What about your cell phone bill? What about your internet access? You're already paying this bill anyway. It only becomes deductible if you own a business. See, you can't be talking about, hey, I don't want to do one of those business things. Well, you can't afford not to do one of these business things, okay? Now, look at this. Travel. Do you go on vacation? Family reunion? Once or twice a year? Take a look at that. That's $3,000 to $5,000 in tax deductions off stuff you're already doing right there in that one category. Well, that brings you down to about $15,000, okay? Take a look at this. Meals and entertainment. This is one of my favorites. Now, if anybody's ever seen me, you know I'm a slim guy. I love to eat, though. But, see, I'm always eating. Every time somebody calls me, my friend, he's always talking about, man, you always eating. Good. I'm getting tax deductions. I love it. But here's the thing. Do you know you can get a tax deduction for going to the football game? Do you know you can have a tax deduction for having a Super Bowl party? Even if they had those, I heard they called them scandal parties at one time, everybody get together and watch Scandal. Well, guess what? You can write that off on your taxes. Did you know you can go see, Queen Bee or somebody? You go see Drake. You know you can write that off on your taxes. See, sometimes when I say that, people say, I don't know about that, John. You sounding real good to right there. But here's the thing. I'm going to read something to you right from the IRS code. This is from our training. We pulled the IRS information and put it right smack dab in front of you and teach you and train you on it. Take a look at it. We're going to show you what they say. It says, what entertainment expenses are deductible? It says, entertainment includes any activity generally considered to provide entertainment, amusement, or recreation. Now just stop right there. Does anything fit that description in your life? Just in case you're unsure, I'm going to keep reading. Examples include entertaining guests at nightclubs, at social, athletic, and sporting clubs, at theaters, at sporting events, on yachts, on hunting, fishing, vacation, and other similar trips. Now let's go back to that thing called yachts. Imagine if you went out and took your friends out on a yacht, and y'all had a yacht party. Do you know that the IRS will allow you to write that off on your taxes? Guys, that's an amazing deal. That's $3,000 to $5,000 for the average person. Let's go with $3,000. Brings down to $12,000 taxable income. Take a look at this now. I got a trick question. You got some kids. Do they cost you money or do they make you money? See, we show you how to get up to a $6,350 tax deduction for feeding, clothing, and taking care of your kids. We just want to know, do you want some? This woman has 2 children. That's $12,000 plus in deductions that will wipe out the last remaining tax liability here, and now we will pay absolutely 0 taxes. We made $50,000 on the job. Then we turned around and started a business in myEcon with our income shifting membership. We started to write off things that we couldn't write off before, and it started to lower tax liability, and now we get all our money up front. We take that money, that $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 a year, or whatever it is that we're just paying in federal, for example, and we take that and drop it into the 401k. We take that and buy an asset. We take that and get out of debt. We just want to know, do you want some? You see, you start getting that money back on your next paycheck because the IRS will allow you to put it on your W-4. So now you get an additional $600, for example, per month back into your check. $7,200 a year. Take that for the next 15 years, drop it into the 401k. You got $208,000. For the lifetime of you working, you would have $895,000. Guys, ladies, that's amazing. But we have a world-class software system called the Cash Flow Strategist. This thing is amazing. It builds financial plans. It does asset accumulation strategies. It will actually build you a debt elimination plan. With the free money we showed you how to get. Take a look. We paid off this car, a $17,000 car, in 15 months as opposed to 32. We paid off an $8,000 Visa in 6 months as opposed to 78. And we paid off a $200,000 mortgage in 79 months, which is a little over 6 years, instead of 30 years. You see, you paid off $225,000 in debt. We saved in cash flow because we didn't have to pay that interest. $332,000 back into our pocket. And then we have $2,500 a month, $30,000 a year in free cash flow. See, what could you do with $30,000 of free cash flow every year? Well, you could take that and drop it into your some rental property, okay, and for the next 10 years and have a $500,000 worth of real estate. That's cash, asset, cash. You got the cash from taxes and debt and bought an asset that created more cash. That's the myEcon way. Let's keep moving. Let's talk about the business income system. We got about 6 or 7 minutes at best, okay? Our income shifting membership, that's our #1 product, folks. We're going to teach you how to minimize those taxes. You get that money back in the next 10 to 14 days. You're going to be minimizing debt in 10 to 14 days. You're going to be investing in 10 to 14 days. And then you're going to get our cash flow manager software system to help you monitor, track, and maintain all this, and brings you within IRS compliance. We're going to get free and discount legal services as a part of your membership. You also get our credit education program called our Smart Money Kit. Baby, this is amazing. This thing right here will help you go from 500 credit score to 750 credit score. See, we show you how to remove negative information. We show you how to do exactly what the credit repair company will charge you $1,000 for. It comes with the membership. You get our discount travel and corporate perks as well. And then you got discount products and services. See, with our income shifting membership, you also get a website that has a storefront where people can buy products and services from you. And here's the great thing about it. Because you have this storefront, then that means you're in business, and that means you qualify for tax advantages. And see, look at this. There's no inventory. There is no shipping. There's no customer service that you have to deal with. You see, we took all the headaches out of it. Identity theft protection. Do you think people need that? Absolutely. They can buy from you $1 million worth, and you get paid every month. They can buy our cash flow manager system. Other business owners or real estate agents or insurance agents, they need that product. You get paid every month. Every time some of your friends buy airfare, hotel, rental cars, and cruises, you can get paid. Okay, booking travel. No, you're not booking the travel like a travel agent. I have no interest in trying to make you a travel agent or becoming one, but you want to get paid on travel. We got cutting-edge nutraceuticals. I can't even get into those. I'll be here all night. We got coffees and teas that are super infused with antioxidants. How would you like to get paid every time somebody buys a cup of coffee, drinks a cup of coffee, just like Starbucks? Do you know that the world is changing? Macy's is closing 68 stores, so things is changing because of technology. The internet, that thing is changing the world as we speak. And guess what? You can get paid every time somebody does transactions online at Macy's, Sam's Club, Walmart, Best Buy. This is some amazing stuff, guys. Okay, let's keep moving. You want to become an EVP in our system. An EVP is somebody who has had $200 in personal sales, or they've enrolled 2 people in our income shifting membership. And guys, I'm just going to tell you right now, the income shifting membership is not $500. It's not $400. It's not $300. It's not $200. It's not $99. It's not even $50. Do you know it's $34.95? See, do you know anybody got $35? 3 $10 bills and a $5 bill. See, do you know somebody that want to lower taxes, lower debt, and build investment for $35? If they don't want to do that, something wrong with them. See, anybody can do this system, and you enroll 2 people, and you get promoted to EVP. Now you make up to 100% commissions on all products and services, and you make up to 85% on your team. Now think about that. Sometimes when I get here, people get a little confused. They say, whoa, John, is that one of those pyramid things? No. Pyramids are illegal. That's not what we're talking about. See, if somebody calls you up talking about the doggone blessing loom, that's a pyramid. If somebody calls you up talking about a gifting program, that's a pyramid. That's not what we're talking about, okay? But look at this. Every single time you show somebody how to cut their taxes by $200 to $1,000 a month, take that money and get debt-free and learn how to put $1,000 a month in a 401k, and they pay $35, we give you 100% commission. Did you hear me? 100%. You get $35 up front. Now show me another company that'll pay you 100% of what comes in. And then look at this. Every time it expands, see, if they show one, who 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 show one, and so on, to infinity, we pay you a $25 override. See, what if 10 people help 10 people this week in your organization? Do you know you made $250 this week? Do that for the month. You made $1,000 part-time, and you didn't even do all the work. We just want to know, do you want some? See, you can make thousands and thousands of dollars part-time even if you're not there. And then it gets even better. Have you ever heard your kids say, it gets gooder? Well, it's getting gooder. See, now you start making back-end residual income. You make $5 to $10 per month on every active associate. See, that could be thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Let me give you an example. See, if you don't see this, see, you're at the forefront of a cutting-edge opportunity. We are groundbreaking with income shifting. There is no other company that does what we do, and you can be a pioneer. We have what is called first mover advantage. See, we can have 1 million people in the next 7 years doing this, and you can be getting paid tens of thousands of dollars. Take a look at this. Enroll 10 people, it's $350 up front and $10 a month residual. Enroll 100 people, that's you and your team, not just you, $2,500 up front, and then it's $300 per month residual. 500 people, $12,500 up front, and $2,500 a month residual. 1,000 people out here income shifting, not becoming good salespeople, but income shifting, $25,000 up front and $8,000 a month. Your residual income is $96,000 and go up from there. 5,000 people, $125,000 up front and $40,000 a month. Now round this off, get 10,000 people. Let's say it take you 10 years. Sometimes people say, well, John, I don't know if I got 10 years. Wait a minute, you gave your job 25. You can't give yourself 10? Wait a minute, what are you talking about? You're talking crazy. You got to get down in here and fight. Guys, I'm in the fight with you. You inherit our expertise on this. You get $80,000 a month. That's a cool $1 million a year. And we're just about done. We're going to teach you about stocks, bonds, real estate, and businesses, because these things are going to build passive income, and those things equal personal financial success. The more things you have that pay you without you working, the better, the wealthier you are. So you got to do it two ways. You're going to build a business that becomes an asset, and then you're going to take some of the money from the business, some of the money from tax savings, some of the money from eliminating debt, and start building your investment accounts. Very important. See, people need more cash flow and better financial strategies. You're at the right place at the right time with the right company. It's called myEcon. There is no company like myEcon. This is not one of the Me Too companies. You're going to get our income shifting strategy, cash flow management software, income protection here for your identity theft. Okay, free and discount legal. Look at all this: credit education, discount travel, corporate perks, valuable tax benefits. See, guys, people go and learn this information in other places and get maybe taken advantage of, what I would say. They might spend $1,000 to $2,000 on this stuff. Guys, did you hear me? I said $34.95. See, you shouldn't have to think about that. You got to think about something wrong with your thinking. What are you thinking about? What's your reference point? You really got to think about whether you want to pay less taxes? Come on. Do you really got to think about whether you want to get up out of debt? Do you really have to think about whether you want to invest money? Come on. Let's get real. And please don't start talking about you got to pray about it. Now, here's my problem. I'm not saying that prayer is bad. I love prayer. Do you believe I pray all the time? I pray daily. But see, you are on this phone because you prayed beforehand. You're getting blessed tonight. You're receiving your blessing tonight. You don't have to go back and say, hey, well, are you sure this is what you want for me? No, we want you to be successful. God wants you to be abundant. You can't be abundant and slave to the lender like debt says. See, you got to live in abundance, and you got to multiply. So you got to multiply. You got to have a harvest. You can't get a harvest from your job. That's the problem. They pay. See, you don't get a harvest next week. You get a harvest in the next season, and you can only do that with investing money or building a business. And guys, we teach you how to do both. See, you only get 2 opportunities in your life to change your life. You get your first one and your last one. I don't know whether this your first, I don't know whether this your last, but you better get busy. Because look, tens of thousands of people have joined this company this year, in the last 6-7 months. We just want to know, are you coming in business with us, and are you somebody we're going to help, or are you going to be somebody on the sideline watching us build wealth? And we would love to have you. So I want to thank you for getting on this call. It is time to rock and roll. My name is John, Executive Vice President, Infinity. That's the top position in the company. And I'm looking for other people that want to become Infinities, because it is now time out for being broke.